Be exactly what you want to be without all of the fear around you. We have to stand up together.
Welcome everybody to the next episode number 37 of Built to Exit podcast with me, your humble host, Jason Sisneros. And today's episode is titled The Ghosts of Profits Past, Present, and Future. It is right around Christmas time. Whenever you're watching this, you may be watching this a year from now, maybe, even if it was a year from now, it would be almost Christmas. But it is around the Christmas season, which is one of my favorite holidays on the face of the planet for many, many reasons. But one of the great stories that we all know about is, my wife had never seen it before. I just had her watch the show Scrooged with Bill Murray in it, which is kind of one of my favorite renditions of a more modern version of Dickens' tale, right? So love it. I love the theory. I love this. And I was sitting there thinking while I was watching the movie Scrooged about this concept. It just popped into my head. What if we all had a conversation about profits, right? Profits as in not the prophets, but as PH, but FITS, right? Profits. And what if we had the conversation and stopped for just a minute and we talked about those things? And throughout the week, I had many experiences in the different businesses my wife and I run, the different things that we've got going on business-wise. And listening to the conversations, what pops up in my head when I'm having conversations with people on the consulting side or in a business that we're looking at buying or a business that we happen to own, business fills my week. And as I'm listening, I'm always listening for those three things. And it popped in my head. That's how I kind of filter things. Like, okay, cool. You're talking to us for a turnaround, or maybe you're doing a merger, or you're looking to take your game to the next level, or you're looking to build your business to actually exit. And I start to think about and I ask questions about where is the money from the past, right? Where have we lost it? Where have we made it? What are we doing right now? And then what are we looking into in the future? So I just wrote an episode based on that particular subject. So we're going to get right into it, okay? And I want to welcome everybody that's brand new to the show. I know we've got a bunch of people joining us on the different platforms. Our audience is growing live. My favorite place to be. If you ever get a chance to come to the show and you want to meet everybody, you want to see everybody that's part of the B2X community, come live on Twitter, x.com. And the handle is @TheJCisneros from 9 a.m. to roughly 10:30. Sometimes we go longer. At AM every single Saturday. And a great group of people been with me. A lot of them been with me for years over the different iterations of the podcast. Started out as the Bald Avenger show and then evolved into the Chairman Project. And now we are Built to Exit, everything B2X. That's what you're going to hear. Built to Exit for all of 2025, 2026 moving forward. That is the name of the company. That's the name of the team. And it is all around the small businesses. You who are watching me, you're probably, if you don't own a business or you're not thinking about starting a business or haven't been in business, you're probably not listening to me. But if you are and you own a business, I'm always looking at this show like I'm having a one-on-one conversation with you. We got a cup of coffee, we're having a conversation, and we're talking about real things that can impact and influence your own business, because you being free, you building your business for freedom keeps me free. And we got to grow this community to be have a voice, right? Like go back to 2020. Why am I doing this? Why am I sitting in this seat? It's because I go back to 2020 and I heard some words that pissed me off, okay? And those words were non-essential. Small and mid-sized companies, non-essential. The big ones where the politicians were making money off of their stock, they were suddenly the only essential ones that were out there. Didn't have to follow the same rules, all that kind of stuff. Kind of pissed me off. I don't like bullies in life, right? I don't like bullies. I fight them in child sex trafficking. I fight them in domestic violence. I don't like people who bully human beings when there's enough food to feed everybody. I like everybody to have a meal. And so this is my fight. This is the fight that I'm in right now to protect my community. And a lot of times we don't know that we need protected. We just think because small businesses and the opportunities and the mid-sized companies and the ability to grow our company, we don't realize that's a snapshot in history for us to have the opportunities in front of us that we have right now. It's a snapshot, and we've taken it for granted. We just think it's always going to be here. We just think it's always, it's always been here. It's always going to be here. That is not the case historically, right? And so to make sure that we preserve that, I am honor bound and passionate about growing this group of people that we've suddenly realized, oh, I'm not alone. Right? Yes, we are 10% of the country here in the United States, and probably the same around the world of this beating heart of a merchant, right? This beating heart, this act of rebellion against being controlled or somebody telling us our worth, and we express that through owning our own business. And so the idea here is for all of us to gather together. That is why this show exists. That is why it's live. That's why we're doing the work that we're doing, so that we can all communicate with each other. Most importantly, do business with other SMEs, small and mid-sized enterprises. Do business with each other. Keep at any time you can direct your money away from the big multinationals that are trying to roboticize and AI size people's way to make a living out of the world. Anytime you can point those dollars away, we preserve the ability for us to build businesses for us and to leave this that opportunity open for our children and our grandchildren and for generations to come. We're honor bound to do that. The only way we can do that is realizing we are not alone. You are not alone. I'm not alone. We all go through some of the same stuff, some of the same thought processes, definitely some of the same fears. All of those kind of things is what binds us together here at the Built to Exit community. So welcome to those of you that are new. I know that's a lot. I know I'm a lot, and that's okay, right? You have to kind of be a lot to stand out in business and to be able to do what we do. We are part of a minority, and we have to bind and bound together. So let's talk about that just for a second. Let's talk about the ghosts of profits past, present, and future. And I want to go through this, right? I'm going to set the scene for you. Imagine you're sitting by your fire this holiday season and only to be visited by 3 ghosts, right? We all know the story, but not the ghost of your mistakes, but of the fortunes you've left behind, the dollars that you've left behind, right? Sounds chilling. The ghosts of money past, present, and future are here to make your next Christmas, make sure that your next Christmas isn't haunted by the regret, but celebrated with triumph. Okay, so let's jump into it. As I was thinking about this, because again, I have many conversations about business. That's all I really talk about all day long, every day, for many, many years now, a couple of decades. And I look at all of these conversations from that perspective. Just think about it in your own life. Stop and think about it. We're right across the table from each other. We're having a cup of coffee, maybe having a tequila. When we're talking about the past decisions that we have made. And imagine that they all became apparitions and they came up out of the ground and they're there to just haunt you and say, look at all the money. Remember, it's not about money for the sake of money. That's not what this community is about. It's about money that fuels and funds your own freedom. That's why we play the game. You should build your business to exit. What does exit mean to you? It simply means owning your own time and having the choices to live the life that you want to live and give back to the community or to whatever it is that you're passionate about. Money is a tool, all right? So if we had a tool and we built houses and that tool was a hammer, we'd want to keep it in shape, right? We'd want the best tools to do the job. And for us in the business, it's called cash. And it's a particular kind of cash called free cash flow. That means the money that you can pull off the table, put in your pocket, and fund your future. Be able to stop at some point. At Built to Exit, we say everybody exits. Pause on that for a moment. That means you. That means me. That means everybody. Everybody exits their business. ... How matters. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about the fact of if you're going to exit, you're going to exit. The way that you're going to exit is, number one, an involuntary exit means you're going to die at your desk or you're going to fail. Okay, that's an involuntary exit. Had 3 of those myself in my life. Okay, I've had and then there was a dictated exit, which means you go to exit, but it's not on your terms, it's on somebody else's terms. I had that experience. Somebody came in, a private equity firm, to buy my business, and it was a little lower of a private equity firm, but they kicked my ass. They bought my business for far lower than it was worth, and it took way longer, which drove down the price the longer it went. That's a dictated exit. The third type of exit, which is what you are all here listening to me about and should be focused on, whether you do come back to the show ever again, and it's the first time you hear it, it's a custom tailored exit. You're gonna exit your business, right? So if you're gonna exit your business, you want to custom tailor that to specifically your end game. Okay, and your end game means how much money do you need to have a paid off house, to have kids through college, to have some travel funds, to have some retirement funds, to have some medical money set aside, all of those kind of things. That's a custom tailored exit. That takes intelligence. That takes not only intelligence, it takes wisdom. Not only does it take wisdom, it takes specific strategies and tactics to be able to achieve that. And so as we look at that custom tailored exit, it's good for us to pause this time of year to say, where are those apparitions? The ghosts of prophets past, that had I not made some of the decisions that I made, they just show up and they come to you in the Dickens type experience, and they just show themselves to you. As business owners, what we want to do is we want to push them away from us, right? We don't think about our mistakes. We don't really stop and take a pause and go, you know what? Let me think about all of the money that I've lost and why did I lose it, or the money that I could have made, right? We don't think about that because we are optimistic to a fault. You, me, the people that we know that own businesses, we are optimistic to a fault. And so we push that aside. We push it back. We don't even think about it for a lot in a lot of ways. Okay, but I've got a couple of things that I want you to think about as you're looking at the ghost of prophets past. Right, you've got that ghost has made itself apparent to you. And I went through some of my white papers, and again, I don't talk specifically about what businesses, who it is, all that kind of stuff, because one of the things that I am entrusted with on the consulting side, when I buy a business, when I do a merger, all that kind of stuff is privacy, right? And I am very, very adamant about making sure we keep privacy. But I'll tell you about a company, and it's a real life case of a business owner who failed to track their finances properly. Now, the 4 things, if you are doing a custom tailored exit, the 4 things that the best buyers on the face of the planet of businesses are going to dig into, these 4 areas, okay? It's going to be your relationship to your customer, right? It is going to be your management team, right? If you don't have a great relationship to your customer and you're constantly having to regenerate new sales, but you don't have a system or a process to be able to do that can be duplicated by the next person who owns your business, you don't have a business that will sell for much, if at all. Okay. Second one, a management team. If you are necessary in your business, you will not sell. And if you do sell, you're still going to be working for the person who buys your business because they're going to require you to stay around. So you want to build a management team that can run and get the same results, if not better, without you being in the room. Third, your financial clarity, tracking, having a P&L, having a 13-week rolling cash flow, having a balance sheet, knowing your money, seeing that free cash flow is coming off the table. understanding what EBITDA is, number one, the one that gets reported to the taxes, the one that is owner adjusted, where you put everything back in that you take out, and the Mac Daddy of all three of them is a pro forma adjusted EBITDA, which means that you can actually show the buyer of your business where you're going to grow into the future, even if they don't buy your business. Okay, that's the one. And then the fourth one is an immaculate exit plan. Okay, an immaculate exit plan. Now you will hear the statement: the greatest exit plan is a great continuity plan. A lot of truth in that, which means that you are optimizing in all four of those areas from today forever moving forward. That just means that you are always ready to exit. Most people, by the time they decide, I need to sell my business, it's too late, right? Or it's going to take way longer. From the time you make the decision, I'm going to build my company to be sold, you're looking at least 2 to 3 years into the future to get it optimized. Now, everybody can just put it on the market and start having conversations with people, but you're not going to get the amount of money that you should out of it, and it's going to take way longer. Okay? So let's talk about some of them in the past. And this is a real example, and then I'm going to give you some areas for you to think about in your own business where you may be visited by the ghost of profits past. Okay? This one, they had lost $200,000 in tax credits and incentives that they could have claimed. Right? They lost $200,000 because of tax credits. And if they were on top of their finances, if they knew where every dollar was, if they knew and had somebody around them, it doesn't mean that you have to know it yourself, but you have to have somebody in your CFO, a controller, some sort of a firm, somebody that's paying attention to all of the opportunities. Look, the world is set up to put their hands in the pockets of producing small business and mid-sized company owners. The world is set up from lawsuits to taxes to regulations to employees that want a free ride, that want to sue you to get money that they don't deserve. We are surrounded by people with their hands in our pockets, period. That is a reality. And we like that. A lot of times we like that. We like being the people that are in the center of it. We like being the ones that are responsible for that level of dedication. We like it. Now, that's fine, but you got to understand where to protect those pockets. I want to pay the taxes that I owe, but not a dollar more. Okay? I want to make sure that I'm getting the right insurance, but not overinsured. I want to make sure that I've got the best equipment, but not the kind of equipment that makes me look fancy, but the one that gets the job done. Right? I want to look at all of those opportunities because we all can point and stop right now in our lives and look back and on decisions that cost us money. Let's look at some of the areas. And again, this is for us to have a conversation. You that are listening, pay very close attention to these things because then you can avoid them in the future. Okay? The ghost of profits past has emerged. And it wants you to look at areas where you may have lost money. The tool that is fueling your exit. How about wrong partners? How about picking the wrong person to go into business with? Do you have some of that in your past? Desperation. Have you made decisions in the past that were made out of desperation? And how much money did that cost you? Are you a business owner that's looking to build your company into a machine that creates cash? I'm Jason Sisneros, chairman and founder of Anton J Global, a world-class business consulting company that has turned around, merged, or prepped for sale hundreds of companies just like yours. I'm best known as the architect when it comes to fixing and building companies across the globe. My experience comes from owning and exiting over 20 of my own companies successfully. It's that real-world experience that I've converted into the ultimate blueprint that has saved and grown my clients' businesses. If you're tired of getting bad advice, have bought all the books, all the coaching programs, and still aren't seeing the success that you were promised, it might be time to work with a team that has actual experience
and a track record of success. Please scan the QR code or visit antonj.com to schedule your free 15-minute consultation to see if we can help you reach your outcomes. That's antonj.com, ANTONJAE.com.
How about greed? You saw something and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this thing. It's making a certain amount of money, but boy, oh boy, I could put some money into this thing and boy, it's going to blow up. I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to forego my brain and I'm not going to do due diligence. And somebody came to me and they said, you got to make a decision really, really quick. Right. But, and it's only for the next few minutes, right? And you're going to make more money than ever and blah, blah, blah. And you're special. I'm coming to you. Like that greed. And by the way, every single one of these words that I've come up with, I lost money in these exact same areas. I'm not just preaching. I'm saying I have lost money in all of these areas. How about being short-sighted? If you've been short-sighted and you're making a decision in the moment because whatever, for those other reasons, desperation, you're making a decision short-sighted because you're not playing the long game. You haven't put up on the wall, your target is exit. Your target is you walking free around this world, and money is no longer a consideration in the determination of the things and the ways that you live your life. Short-sightedness causes a lot of bad decisions, which leads to losing money. Speculation. Oh man, are we surrounded by speculation today, right? Oh, I'm not. We got FOMO, the fear of missing out on all this money. Everybody's this millionaire, this millionaire, that millionaire. Business is something that you get to control and be able to interact with and of your own volition and your thought processes and your discipline and your working and all that kind of stuff, right? Sometimes speculation it's a seductress. Let's call it that. It is a seductress. Abdication versus delegation. How many times in the past have you abdicated something that you don't like to somebody that supposedly knows it better, instead of delegating it, which means that you understand the core heart of your finance, of your operations, of your revenue generations, of the legal, of that kind of stuff. You don't have to know it at a super deep level, but you got to know it enough that you can delegate it to somebody who knows it better and you know they're doing a great job with that area. How much money have you lost in abdicating the responsibility for your business versus delegating? I know I did that a lot, especially in the beginning of my career. Okay. How about ego? How much money have you lost because you're like, I'm gonna measure a body part here, and I'm gonna put my foot down, and I'm gonna be that person that knows everything, and my ego's in the way, and you made a bad decision that you can look back on that maybe cost you some money. How about assumption with a capital A, a capital S, and another capital S, right? Assumption makes an ass out of you and me, right? And so how much money have you lost in assumptions? How much money have you lost because you were making emotional decisions? How much money have you lost because of exhaustion? You're just tired, you're worn out. How about entrepreneurial ADD, attention deficit disorder? My wife and I were talking about that this morning. You're not focused, right? You're scattered everywhere. I know, I'm telling you, entrepreneurial ADD could have been like, if I had passed away in my mid-20s, early 30s, that I promise you, that would have been on my headstone. Here lies Jason Sisneros, who died of entrepreneurial ADD. He killed himself with all the opportunities that he thought he was going to get rich with. Spite. How about spite? How much money have you lost because of spite? Unresearched referrals. Run research referrals. Somebody just says, hey, oh, blah, 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 I need a bookkeeper. Somebody just offhandedly says, oh, you should call this person, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, okay, because somebody told me that, blah, 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 I'm going to go do it. And you lost money or time, which is they're both the same thing, by the way. But I lost money or time because I didn't research the referral that I got. How about lopsided friendships? How much money have you lost being the one that is the producer in a partnership or a friendship, and you've allowed somebody in your mind because they were your friend? I'm doing quotation marks right now. They were your friend. Lopsided friendships. How about lapses in due diligence? When was the last time you purchased something? Look, it's a trick. It's a magic trick. I want everybody out there to understand. There is a magic trick. There's a new show on Netflix that's called Buy Now, B-U-Y now. You want to see how much we're manipulated and how good, oh my gosh, they're good. How good people are at tricking you into buying shit you don't need, buying shit that actually reverses you, gets you further away from your exit, which is the only reason you buy a business, is for you to exit, and to exit on your terms, a custom tailored exit. It's the only reason why you're in business. But how many times have we had and been tricked? It's really good. I'm telling you, I've fallen for it. I still fall for it. My wife and I sometimes will look at each other. We'll go, did you just fall for another funnel? And I'll go, yes, I just fell for another funnel. Did you fall for another funnel? And she's like, yes, I just fell for another funnel. And we're like, damn it. We teach this stuff. We teach each other to look out for this stuff. But they're good. Oh my God, they're good. I'm not, this is not a judgment call. It's just to get better at determining before you make a purchase, especially one in your business. Decisions in your business should increase your cash flow, reduce your expenses, and increase the experience that your customers are having. Those are the decisions. And ultimately to create more cash flow that then funds your exit number so that you can eventually leave that business to somebody else. So lapses in due diligence. If you were to say, I bought this and I bought this and I bought that and I bought this, and all this kind of stuff. And by the way, I just got asked, I did cancel Netflix, but I had to watch the Tyson fight, so I uncanceled it. And then I canceled it again. Okay. Because I did very publicly cancel my Netflix, but we saw that show and there was a bunch of stuff. Emily wanted to get caught up on the Baker show, all that kind of stuff, but then we did cancel it again. So anyway, the point is that lapses in due diligence, how much money has that cost you? If you were to just stop, think, jump out of your unbelievably optimistic business owner mind, and look back and say, how many times if I would have done just a little bit deeper due diligence? My favorite one is recommendations on LinkedIn. That's my favorite one. If you go to people's LinkedIn, which is people that sign the front of the check, not the back of the check. And I know that there's a lot of people on there that do a lot of things, but ultimately it is a great due diligence tool. For you to go in, see, have they posted? What are they doing? And you go to that recommendations area and you say, do they have any recommendations? Has anybody thought to leave them a recommendation? It's one of the ones, out there in the wild, wild west of people faking their attributes and faking their success. It's one of the ones where you can actually track who said what and what they're saying about them. Okay? So it's one of the great ways. So lapses in due diligence. How about your feelings? How much have we lost or made with our feelings? I feel a certain way. I've got a gut feeling about this. I've got gut, by the way, one of my mentors that I talk about a lot on this show, Keith Cunningham, was who the Rich Dad and the Rich Dad Poor Dad books. The story was about him and his wisdom and all the ways that he approached things. But he always says gut, given up thinking, right? Now, I know there's other places that you should trust your gut and all that kind of stuff. But in business, when you're making financial decisions, when you're growing probably not the best way to make decisions is on your feelings, right? Emotions high, intellect low. Intellect high, emotions low. Very simple, filter to run decision making through. And how about the proximity decision making? Okay? How about proximity decision making? So, one of the greatest tools is for people to gather large crowds of people or to get large amounts of following, and then they figure out a way to get a couple of those people talking. Maybe they pay them, whatever it is, and you're in that proximity and you're like, oh, if everybody's going to that event, I should go to that event. If everybody's buying that product, I should buy that product. Oh, if everybody's investing in that thing, I should invest in that thing. The greatest thing that you can do is intellectually extract yourself from the mob decision making in your life. Okay? The greatest decision you can make is to say, I am apart and separate from, not above, but apart and separate from, and have the ability to be able to intellectually make decisions about what I'm going to buy, invest in, and utilize. Okay? Because what happens, and again, this is to say that marketing is a great science where they get us to make decisions emotionally and then we justify it intellectually. We've heard that before. When can you go, oh, I'm emotional about this. I'm feeling some kind of a way. How can I pull myself out of that just for a second, be a professional, and make a decision based on the three things? Is it going to save me money, make me money, or radically improve, measurably improve the quality of my customers' lives or my employees' lives? How many ghosts are surrounding you right now as I tell these stories? As I just pop these little words out there. Assumption, emotion, ego, delegation, abdication versus delegation, lopsided friendships, lapses in due diligence. How many ghosts have risen out of the graveyard of money that should be in your bank account or out making you money right now? How many apparitions have shown up for you? I'm telling you, the only reason those words showed up in my show notes this week is because I have been visited by the ghosts of my prophets lost. I've been visited by them, and these were the words that we had. These were the words that popped into my own head.
Hi, my name is Jason Sisneros, founder and chairman of Anton J Global, a world-class business consulting company that has helped hundreds of clients and thousands of growth course students fix, scale, and successfully master their businesses. To put it simply, my team and I help people turn their businesses into machines that create cash. To better support startups and other mid-sized companies, my team and I developed a phenomenal and comprehensive digital growth course where I poured decades of business ownership and know-how into 20 hours of content. This course is not easy. It's not an easy pill, but demands real work from you to implement the blueprints that I've developed. We know that reaching financial freedom is never easy, but totally worth it. Go to growthcourse.com right now to learn more about the course and get started on your business journey today.
Keith Cunningham, again, he asked me a question one day and he said, Jason, what if you had all the money? And what if you had all the money back from your 3 worst business decisions? It irritated the shit out of me. I was like, what? What if I had the 3? Oh, it kept me up. You know, I like those comments that keep me up because it makes me think. It makes me think. And thinking is your greatest tool. All right, so let's move on to the ghosts of money present. That's enough. Like a lot of us are like, I don't want to listen anymore. I just got visited. Now I'm scared. I'm scared of all that money that I could have made. I'm scared of all that money I could have invested. I'm scared of the businesses I could have bought. I'm scared of the lives I could have changed with the capital so that we could do more good in this life. I'm scared of the time that I'm still looking for. I have to put in my time to be able to exit, right? So let's talk about the ghosts of money future. And So this is one, a graduate actually of the Built to Exit system. They planned their exit over 5 years. We took their company from $1 million EBITDA, right? The target, by the way, I'll just give it to you. Like the target you should be growing to, if you're a small to mid-sized company, is a $5 million EBITDA. It's a great number. It gives you a lot of options. There's a lot of different sales on every side. There's a lot of different people that especially, and I'm doing quotation marks again, the experts that say, Jason, you can sell a company, for the target. And I say $15 to $30 million on the sale of a business is life-changing for everybody that listens to me. $15 to $30 million sale, it changes your life in ways that would shock you, right? Gets you a lot of freedom. Much less than that frees a lot of people. $2 million, $3 million. So I'm just saying the target that we look at in Built to Exit and for the certified strategists that are working in that area is to build a company to $5 million EBITDA. It gives you a lot of choices. It gives you a lot of different people. It opens up the spectrum of opportunity for somebody that is looking for your size business. Smaller businesses tend to be complicated. Smaller sales, tend to be complicated. They tend to be longer time periods. They tend to be dependent on the ongoing performance of the business. You end up carrying a lot of the debt of that moving forward. But at $5 million, you have some real $5 million EBITDA. You have some real influence in the negotiation, and that puts you at a 3 to 5 times. You're looking at $15 to $30 million sale of your business with people that have the money, know what they're doing, and they're looking at your business, especially if that $5 million EBITDA ends up being built around those 4 areas that I mentioned earlier. Okay. And we did an entire podcast. We're starting to number these, by the way. So I'll be able to point back to which number, but it's about EBITDA. It's in the title, back in the other videos that we have up on YouTube. You can always find it. But we took that asset from $1 million to a $10 million asset by building systems and optimizing for sale, right? And compare that to what happens with most businesses. And we're talking about the ghost of money present. What are you doing today? What is your experience of running your business today? And just, again, this is between me and you, and probably between you and you, because we don't like to talk about this publicly. Do you have the time that you would like? Are you stressed out beyond? Are you unsure of the future? Are you on and on and on and on? The real conversations that you should be having with yourself as a professional business owner. Because we had another guy that said, you know what? I don't really want to get help. Guy's a friend of mine, and then came back around and went through the program and whatnot. But the other guy, he just burned himself out. He was having marital problems, started having health problems, and had to liquidate that particular business that we really wanted to help him, but he decided that he didn't want to get help. He heard, look, this is probably the worst statement that you can probably get or hear, especially today, because private equity firms have a lot of money and they're out looking for businesses. And there's the guy's like, oh, you should go out and buy Enron stock. You should go out and you should buy blah, blah, blah. And it's always at the top. You should go out and buy 4 houses right at the top of 2007, right? This is what you're going to start hearing out in the marketplace. If you haven't already heard it, is, oh, guess what? I know a guy who sold his business. He got top dollar, et cetera, et cetera. You start to hear that stuff. And instead of understanding how businesses are bought, this is what happened with this guy, this gentleman, this friend of mine. He got caught up in that. He's like, I said, look, it's going to take us a couple of years to get you to a place where you can exit your business at the level that you want to be able to do it and to control the conversation. And he's like, I don't think so, Jason. People are buying and snapping up companies all over the place. And he went through that process and went to start talking to these people. They knew a lot more than he did. His company wasn't built. It was dependent on him. He didn't have the relationship to the customer locked in. Absolutely no financial clarity. And so what ended up happening was it drug out so long because he was anticipating a big number on the sale, drug out so long that he ignored the fundamentals of what made him successful in the first place, and he went out of business, had to liquidate the entire company. And then, he's back on track. He's doing another business and really going well, following the Built to Exit system, to the letter right now. But right now, the conversation is, what is the ghost? If there was an apparition that showed up in your life right now with your business, and it told you, here's the things that you're doing that you know damn good and well you were not building to exit, what would that ghost say to you? Are you being strategic? Are you putting systems and processes in place? Do you have an end game that you're measuring your progress or recession away from? Are you doing the things that we talk about week to week? Are you doing those things today? You got to remember that less than 10% of businesses that ever get listed ever sell. And those that build to exit command higher valuations and faster sales. So define your end game to avoid the ghost of present future, the ghost of profits present visited me. And if he visited me right now, we'd have a great conversation. And he would waltz off he would fade off into a wall somewhere going, great job, Jason. Would he do the same, or she do the same thing for you? So define your end game now and structure your blueprint so the future you envision becomes reality. Now, this is the scary one, right? This is the scary one. We are constantly, because we have built to exit and the consulting side of what we do. And then we have businesses where my wife and I partner with people. We own businesses outright. And the ghost of profits future. You get to have, this is the one that changed the game, right? In the Dickens movie, in Scrooged, it was like, oh, this is my future. If you just track your current behaviors, your current decision making, your current strategies, your current this, that, and the other, all of those things, if you just map it out, your future is predictable. And so if your ghost of your future was to come and have a conversation with you right now, whisk you off into your future, what does it look like? This is just an honesty moment, right? It's just an honesty. You're not in a crowd. You're not around. You're just listening to my voice. We're having a one-on-one conversation. What does your future look like? And if you are uncertain, then maybe the ghost of present profits was telling you something that needed to be changed, therefore redirecting, bifurcating the path that you're on into the custom tailored exit that you desire. So in the future, let me give you a couple of examples, right? A couple of examples, and then we're going to wrap up the show, and I'm going to go to the live audience that is waiting with bated breath for me over there in Twitter land right now at the Jason Sisneros, where we're live 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. every Saturday morning, right? But let's think about some of these things, right? I hire somebody that's a friend. I expect them to do things. They don't do it, right? I have somebody that's employed with me right now and these are all hypotheticals. I have somebody employed with me right now that I know shouldn't be with me because they're not behaving in a way that is predictive of my exit. I haven't hired somebody that I know I need to hire that would be predictive of my exit. I'm not investing in the right things. I'm investing in the wrong things. My attention is scattered on too many things. I'm spending too much time on Instagram and the bullshit success that people put out there. I'm spending too much time drinking. I need to change my diet. I need to change my workout regimen. This is a great time for us to think about this because we have a new year. And although you should be looking at every day, every opportunity through our GBD process, again, another video that we've done in the past, but you should be looking at it every single day. Right now is a great time. And you may be hearing my voice at exactly the right time for you in your own business journey to say, I'm going to stop for a second and I'm going to project into the future what I'm doing right now is going to get me. Is it going to get me that exit that I see for myself? Is it going to get me the choices that I need? Is it going to get me the freedom that I need for me and my family? Is it going to put the amount of money that I want to be able to make a difference through a charity? Is it going to be able to get me to have those experiences of sailing the world? Or am I going to die at my desk not having seen or experienced or absorbed the beauty that this world has to offer because I did not change my behaviors, I did not change my actions, because I was stuck in a series of patterns and fear and certainty based and not knowing what's going on and builds to anger and we're doing all the wrong. Your future is in your hands right now, this moment, to set forth a new pattern, a new procedure, a new decision, new people you could put in your life, new thought processes, new all of that stuff for your future can change right now. Nobody wants to look back on their business journey and see ghosts of lost opportunity. Nobody. Your future self will thank you for the decisions that you make today. Those of you that are with me live, those of you watching this video, you've taken the first step. You're here. You're in the community. I had a beautiful conversation with somebody that's in the room right now. I'm not going to rat her out, but I had a beautiful conversation with somebody this week that's been following my shows for a couple of years now and has done some great things in her life and has some wonderful opportunities and desires for her future. There's a lot of information that I love to give out that costs you nothing but the time of investing in listening to these videos, showing up with us live and having conversations and thought processes and analysis of the thing that you have in your hands called a business. It is so powerful what you have in your hands. A lot of us look at it like it's a burden but it is a beautiful opportunity for you to mold this thing called a business into creating the thing called money that gives you economic choices in life. It's not about the money. It's about who you get to become, how you craft yourself, how you chop away at the things that you know are weaknesses in your life, the strengths that you have that you can build on, the beautiful relationships you can build with a team of people moving in the same direction, the beautiful relationships and the suffering that you can ease in the lives of the people that you serve that are your clients. The difference you can make in charities because of your excess capital, the difference you can make in your tax base in your own community because you're able to help fund things and you're able to help support people and you give people jobs and you give the ability to be able to feed them and their families, put a roof over their head. The thing that you have in your hand, it's not just a burden. It's not a burden at all. It's a gift. And it's a gift that's given to the very few in this world that have the ability or the competence level or even the impetus to be able to want to have the rebellion of their heart result in them doing something that says, I will not be controlled. That is what we have. And as we head into the most beautiful season that reminds us of humanity and love and compassion and family and celebration. Just remember and maybe modify your approach and the belief that you have of this thing in your hands called a business. If you're doing it, you were meant to do it. But maybe these ghosts go, you know what? Maybe I should try it a different way. Maybe I should try it with some different people. Maybe I should modify my approach so I don't continue to get the same results that I'm going to get, so that I don't end up with that horrific future of working on something that never, ever, ever gets exited except for by involuntary exit. That's the beautiful dream, the beautiful hope, the beautiful opportunity that everybody has. I don't care who you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what your sexuality is. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I don't care if you're man or woman. I don't care the color of your skin. I don't care. The opportunity is the same in this game called business for everyone at this moment in time. And if you do it and you do it well, it keeps the opportunity open for others. That's why Built to Exit Community is that I started it. That's why it's growing. That's why because we're all in it together. Yeah, I talk, I got a big mouth. I get on this thing and I put my mouth out just like I did for trafficking, just like I did for domestic violence, just like I did for feeding people, just like I do for veterans, just like I do for our business community. But I can't do this myself. We've got to do business with each other. That's number one. Number two, we have to have a big enough voice through our $18 trillion worth of money that we get to be able to direct and influence AI so that our SME community is not completely wiped out and it consolidates in the hands of 2 or 3 companies in this world. We got to have that voice. We don't have that. I can't have that voice by myself. It takes all of us. It takes the collective revenue that we generate, the collective hiring that we do. And thirdly, somebody's got to have a voice to go, you know what? This antitrust shit is out of control. The BlackRocks and the Vanguards, and they control too much. And we have laws against that to remake so that we can keep the revenue generation and the business life decentralized and in your hands. I know that you're just looking to build your business. I understand that. But we have to band together. You have to be able to think about your business, your client, your exit, and also the health of the community that allows us to operate all in the same brain. You have to be able to think about those things in concert with each other. And the biggest lie that we've been told is that I'm a small or mid-sized company and I really don't have that big of a voice. They're right until we bind together, until we bond, until we organize, until we are talking to each other, giving each other heads up. One of the greatest things that happens in the B2X community is people talking to each other about their businesses, and they get insights that improve their own businesses that had nothing to do with Jason Sisneros except for creating the environment for us to be able to come together and have these conversations. That's it. That's it. So your future self will thank you for the decisions you make today. Start by joining us at the Built to Exit community, where we help you create a plan, build systems, and leave nothing on the table. Remember, everybody exits. How matters. I'm Jason Sisneros. Join us again next week. There's always going to be another show next Saturday, and also please just come join us live. That's all I ask. Share this with somebody that you know would love to listen to this episode. You know, it's something that's actually valuable for their business. And hopefully I keep it entertaining enough that it's not boring and you don't go to sleep. And, I'll put bells on to make sure that we're bringing everybody together. I love you all very much. Thank you so much for the people that are here, that have been with me consistently and continue to share this show moving forward. I'm Jason Sisneros, and we'll see you next week on Built to Exit. Peace.